Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. We have some more news today, so as always, let's get straight to it. The very first thing that I have for you guys are some more images of and information about the upcoming Showanna Studios 1/35th scale PVC Tyrannosaurus Rex Scotty. We now can see numerous different images of the model, get a good idea of how gorgeous it looks as a whole. Like I've said previously, definitely one of, if not the best Tyrannosaurus models out on the market from what we can see when it comes to these images anyway. But the price point is $59.99, and that is excluding shipping costs. This information comes from Showanna Shop, and the model will actually release in the first quarter of 2025 at the latest by April of 2025. So unfortunately, even though it is exciting to see this, the model is still at the very least a year away. So I guess I should say at the very most a year away, but definitely sad to know that it is so far away. I was hoping for a release date at some point within the next few months, but obviously we're going to have to wait longer for it because it's not going to be arriving for about a year. Also, when it comes to PNSO, they have unveiled a brand new figure yet again on us, and this one is really cool and also really surprising. We've got ourselves a Wosa, and honestly, I did not see this one coming. I'm not really sure why. It's definitely, not the type of species that they've kind of been releasing lately. It's been quite some time since we had any sort of a stegosaur species, so this one kind of came out of left field as far as I'm concerned, but overall I think it's a gorgeous interpretation. And of course, really nice paint apps. I'm sure there's going to be a few people that are a little unhappy at the usage of browns again, because PNSO has been so heavily favoring browns over the last few months to a year or so, but I think it looks really good, and I actually really quite like that flashiness of the blue up there in the plates. Again, if you are interested in picking this up for yourself, you can purchase it right now from Showanna Shop as well as Dan's Dinosaurs. Also, when it comes to Iron Studios, they have released another brand new Jurassic Park model. But what's weird about this one is they're kind of screwing over me and many other people that had purchased their first version of this. This is the same smaller Tyrannosaurus that I had reviewed recently from their Icons line. I actually had reviewed it probably a month or two, maybe 3 months ago. It wasn't too long ago. And the model as a whole wasn't really that great. I thought that the sculpt was really nice, but the paint apps don't even come close to what you actually see here in these images. And since it is the same T-Rex, we can definitely say it's these images. But the only difference on this one is we've got an awesome crushed Ford Explorer as well as a base with the Jurassic Park symbol there. So unfortunately, I went ahead and pre-ordered this one even though I have the original version of it. But that's because I'm actually going to take this one when it arrives and I'm going to repaint it because I want it to look at least somewhat similar to what we have there on the promo images. I think as a whole, the entire thing looks amazing, and the addition of the Ford Explorer and the base is definitely the icing on the cake for this model. Standing alone, the model's not so great, as I had mentioned in my review, but when it comes to this overall scene put together, I think it does look really cool, but it just needs a new paint job. And normally I don't repaint things like this, but since the model is already in my collection in the more lackluster original paint, I'm definitely going to have to give this one a fresh coat of paint when it does arrive. However, if you are interested in pre-ordering one for yourself, I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on Big Bad Toy Store right now. And then as far as the Toy Monster International Captivz line goes, recently Plush Boy Q had sent me an image here showing off, actually a few images, but showing off some really cool new figures that they are going to have coming out. They've already begun hitting Walmarts as far as I'm aware. We have more color change figures, and again, quite a few different species with, some species being repeated here, but different color schemes, obviously, like the T-Rex has a different appearance as far as the previous version goes. But there are some really fun ones in the new wave. You've got like the Gallimimus coming back, the Monolophosaurus, the Dimetrodon, which no matter matter how many times they release that, I'm always going to love it, as well as the Compy, which I think the Compy was in the first round of color changing figures. Could be wrong about that, I can't really recall. But regardless, again, it's still very cool, very exciting to see more of these. I wish they would have more new species, as there are so many out there that they haven't included in their line yet, but either way, it is still fun to have some new Captivz again so quickly, especially after the first round had released. So if you are interested, start checking your local Walmarts. As far as I'm aware, the packaging seems to be the same on the eggs, but you basically would just have to check the back of the box, and then maybe that would tell you what wave you are looking at. So make sure, again, you check your local Walmarts and grab these if you can find them. And also, again, another thank you goes out to Plush Boy Q, but he has sent me, as far as Mattel goes, an image of the newest round of minis. This would be, I think, Wave 2 for Epic Evolution, if I remember correctly, and we can see that this is a pretty big letdown as far as this wave goes as a whole. You know, I was really excited for the next round to come out, but it appears as though almost everything in here is just a straight-up repack, and in something that is somehow even more baffling than, honestly, anything I can think of, they've repeated 2 figures in here in 2 different areas. We have 2 different versions, actually not even 2 different versions, it's the same version, but 2 different sets, including the Tyrannosaurus, and 2 different sets, including the Caprasuchus. Now, both of those are great minis, I will give them that, but I feel like they could have used that room for some other species, even if it's repeating a different species we've already had, but repeating the same species in 2 different boxes in one individual wave, I think is pretty silly, and it doesn't look like there's anything really going on as far as like repaints go in this set outside of the Brachiosaurus. That green Brachiosaurus does appear to be the only actual new figure in the new wave of minis, which is very upsetting if you ask me. I remember when Mattel used to bust out an entire new wave full of all new figures for their minis. It seems as though time continues to fly by with these minis, and the minis seem to get lazier and lazier as far as the releases go. I guess Mattel just doesn't care too much about the minis, hoping that at some point in the future they kind of start to try a little harder with these figures, but either way, if you are interested in grabbing these, they should start hitting stores at some point in the near future. I have heard of a few different people finding them, but I don't know that anybody's found them at Walmart yet. But like, I've heard of people finding them at like museums and stuff, so it's probably only a matter of time until they do start showing up though. So in the comment section, let me know what you guys think of these, and of course, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.